Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Conversation with the Love Crusader. It is a special edition today because we have a very special guest in the studio. But before we get into it, if you're coming across this platform for the first time, let's tell you that this is called Conversation with the Love Crusader. It's a platform where we talk about love, we talk about family, we talk about relationships, all in a fun way. We try to have fun while we talk about these serious matters. Yeah. And we are live every Sunday on YouTube, on Facebook, on all of our social media platform. It's the Love Crusader. You can subscribe, you can follow us, so you can always get the notifications when we come on live and you will not miss any of our edition. So, like I said, it's a special edition, special and rare because we're bringing someone that we've never brought before on this platform. One, someone that it's a honor and a privilege to bring to the platform. Two, someone that is okay. I'll tell you all of the story first. Let's welcome Titi, then I'll come back to the story of this someone that is sitting in the studio with us today. Welcome, Titilayo. We are
Hi.
doing this special edition today.
Mhm. That's right. It's good to
Yes,
be here.
and I'm happy that it's me and you. And I won't tell you why, but after I can tell you camera. Okay. So we started a conversation last week. We're going to continue that conversation this week. And I promised you last week that it was going to be a fantastic edition today because of our special guest. So I'll start. I'll try to see if I can do justice to the introduction of our guest. Our guest in the studio today is a father, a grandfather, he's a husband, he's a bishop, he is a writer, he is a publisher, he is a registrar of a school, he is hey, the thing they're offline from my head now. Anyway, he's a lot. He's one man that is a lot. And he's one man that is very special to me because he is also my biological father. So, everyone, welcome to the studio. My father, spiritual, biological, and like my husband will say, my Lord, temporal, my Lord, the Bishop, Doctor Napoleon Obayojie is in our studio today. Welcome, guys.
You are all welcome to the podcast, and I'm also glad to be part of it today.
So now you can understand why it's a special edition. Maybe you've been out there wondering where this woman came from. Now you can see where I come from. And you can see those who mentored me, those who brought me up, those who trained me, those who taught me in the ways and in the things. So if you're one of them who always say, "Oh, I appreciate you," I get all those kind of comments. We like you, we like what you're doing. This is where it came from. This is where all of the vision began from. Welcome again, Daddies, to the studio. We're very proud to have you here.
Thank you for bringing me to your studio.
All right, and for those who know me personally, you know I'm a daddy's girl. So yes, this is my stage today. Titi should not be jealous. I can borrow her small space, no problem. He's a daddy of many with churches worldwide, different colors and different type of children. So Titi, you're welcome. Join the train. Don't be too jealous. All right, let's go on. Today he's not coming to preach the Bible. We're coming to talk about marriage. We're coming to talk about, money management and marriage generally in this generation of ours. And it's important that we not only talk about how we see marriage now. Let's talk about how they who have done it. My dad has been married for close to 50 years now, if not more. He's trained 9 children, all okay, eight graduates and just one person who chose not to be a graduate. My dad trained everyone, and we've now even left levels of graduates. We're talking masters, we're talking PhDs. He's an accomplished man himself with so many doctorates. How is he as a man able to keep a marriage, a home, Do all of this, train the children. There's a lot that you're going to learn today. So please call your friends and tell everyone to come here. Life experience. I always promise you life practical experience on this show. We're not telling you textbook, we're telling you something that works. And I tell you that marriage works. Not because marriage does not have these challenges, but because we've seen people who've been able to, go through the obstacles and are still standing. And one of them is our bishop today. So that generally tell us marriage today. What do you see our marriage today and compared to marriage in your time? Let's start from there.
Well, the issue is that marriage now, in general language, I will say cosmetic, and also um, it's like a playground,
Hmm.
different from when we got married. And some of our values are no longer values today.
Hmm.
So it makes a great difference.
Hmm.
The things that makes a man to say, I am a married man, and he boasts to say, I am a honorable man, and people will call him actually honorable.
Hmm.
They are the things that are no longer the value in the family of this present time, this present generation.
Hmm.
And if I mention one, you can just agree with me, it is true. A man marries now, marries a wife, and then the wives also, both of them, this one going to work, this one going to work. They are both educated and both need job and both are working, and the next thing I hear is, yeah, we need money. We need money. But I married my wife. My wife has never worked even one day for anybody, but she has been very, very helpful because she has been doing other things apart from waking up in the morning and run here and there to go to work, whereas my children will be fatherless and motherless. I think I can stop there.
That's a very great example. So, Papa, are you saying that we should not work? Women should not work? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying women should not work. I'm not saying men should um, be the one to work alone.
Hmm.
But the fact of it is this: the what I have seen is a competition now.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be something of um, compliment, as God said it from the Garden of Eden. It's supposed to be a thing of compliment, not competition. But now it's competition. The wife wants to earn salary more than the husband. The husband wants to earn more than the wife. After all, he is the man, and he's who's supposed to carry the egg or so of the house as husband or something. But to be candid with you, such doesn't work very well. If the woman is going to work, she should do a job or do something that will give her space for the home. We will not say the man, because from the beginning, God told Adam that he should go and take care of the garden. The meaning of that is to take care of the world. Go and take care of your world. So it is the duty of Adam, and the Bible said a man that could not provide for the family, otherwise, is worse than an infidel. So if to say it is a man's duty, responsibility, and but if the woman is going to assist, it should assist along with the family. So that's where the values are broken down.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I'm understanding what Bishop is saying. He's not saying women should not work. He's saying that we should not work. Titi, I don't know whether my interpretation is correct. You can help me. He says that we should not do it in such a way that is to the detriment.
The detriment of the family, yeah.
So when everybody's chasing career and chasing money and then it feels like maybe the children are left without anyone to care for them and all of that, then it becomes a problem. Um, so don't leave here saying, I listened to Bishop. Bishop said women should not work. Because I think, I'm not trying to defend us, but I think maybe what is different in your generation and our generation? Are we looking for a higher standard of life or what? Because, like you said now, and I was there, I grew up, I know my mom never really held a job, although she never also was without doing something.
Good.
She was always selling something. She was always, sewing clothes, doing. I think my mom sold everything. If there's anything that is sellable, oil, anything. At a point, she was even running restaurants, So I think she kind of was able to still work and support her family, but without jeopardizing the family. I think that's what you're saying, Daddy. So,
Correct.
so we should mind the kind of work we do, how it takes our time away from the family, and how we're chasing careers as per how this affects the family. Okay, that's a very good example, and Daddy has indicted us. I also do not agree that we should have children and not be there to train them. Some of us had to make the sacrifice. I remember when I just came out of school, my plan was to be a banker. In fact, I was already doing IT in the bank and I wanted to work in the bank. My husband then was also working and traveling around the country. And one day said to me, this bank thing will not work because I'm not there. You are in the bank, and bankers used to put in long hours. Then what happens to the children? And so finally, I ended up taking up a teaching job, which I was qualified for, but which gave me time. I close early, be able to be there for the children, go get them, take them home, and still running business from home. Okay, anyways, let's leave that part. All right, let's come to the topic today. We're talking about management of money in marriage, because you've already begun to tell us that, that's our quest for money now. We're all chasing money. It's part of the problem. How do we manage that desire? We want money. We want the best life for our children and for ourselves. We want, to be able to do things, like David would say, so that we will not be ashamed. Let it not be too much, but let it not be that it's not there. How do we balance this? How do we find a balance?
Well, like you have asked me from the beginning, comparing my time or my age or
Your
my
generation.
generation to this present time, then it might be a little bit difficult for me to give you a very good answer.
Okay.
But nevertheless, let me say to you, um, a baby must crawl before it start to run. No matter the development that the world have developed,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what any science or whatsoever they have done, you can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
This is how God have created marriage, everything in the world. That's why He created it. The differences that you are seeing is because we do not want to follow the word of God. Comparing me and you, just have 3 children. I had 9 children. You're
Mm-hmm.
present, you were there.
Yeah.
And you know the things that happen in the house and how somebody finish maybe a university and have got the first degree. The first and foremost, of course, you want to get a job, whether male or female. And at the same time, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to buy. So by the time you count all of these things, I asked one of the ladies that came to my counseling, I asked her, I said, all these things you want to have, they are very good and nice life. Very nice. He said, yes, because I don't want to suffer anything in life. I said, well, but in another 10 years' time, what will you be looking for? He looked at me and said, at that time, I will not be looking for anything, I'll be resting.
Mm.
I said, well, that your resting is wrong. Because that's not the time. It's not. You have not gotten even to a quarter of time to rest. Definitely, you will still be doing something or looking for something.
Mm.
We are running faster than how God Almighty planned and made us. That is on this generation. I still said it today. You heard me when I was preaching, and maybe in other places, everybody that know me, they know that I am not doing anything for money, to be rich, to have all the whole world. But even though I wasn't doing that at the time that you were a child with me, I was not doing that, and I was not aiming that I will have cars. But today, God gave me cars, and I never labored up and down and tried to do everything and neglect my home, neglect every other good value of life that I ought to then, and face this generation of running so fast in order that you go to where you have not even, you are not supposed to be there. Not yet to. There is a time for everything. God provides time. And if you look at human being, creation of a human being, you will know that God can never change it. You are the one changing it. A baby must be conceived. And when the baby is conceived, even if they do IVF, that baby will still be inside the womb. They will not they will not say because it's IVF, it should remain inside the bottle, and then when it's 3 months, it come out and begin to walk. It's not there. Nothing changes God. And when a baby, it have to be 9 months before he will born, it will get to that time before he will be born. And when that child is born, as I was trying to say, you will find out that every stage of life, this child must continue to pass through them. God will not jump because your child, your father or your male parents are millionaires, or they are president, or whatsoever they are in this world. God will not change it. What the stage of life, God will take you through. And when you now get to adult, you are now trying to jump that stage of life, you are messing up what God has created. Thank you.
Titi, comments before I say anything for that comment. There's a question. There's someone that's dropped a question on our WhatsApp page. So go on, say something first before I drop the question.
Yeah, I think the message I'm getting is there's a process, and there's a process that's been set, that's been laid down, and you can't jump that process. You, no matter how, and I understand that the world is becoming a global village, things are happening faster now and all that. But no matter the speed with which things are happening these days, there are some things that it says that seed time and harvest will not cease so long as we are in this part of eternity. So that process will always be there. You can't jump start. No matter how you want to be fast, things are happening for you. You still have to go through that process. You can't run away from it. So even if we have a lot of things around us that are making life easier now, things are moving on well for us, we still need to understand that life is a process. These things, and just the way he has said it now, that it is the way God has designed it. That tells us that nobody can change it. You cannot change this thing. So the earlier we begin to have that understanding, the better. And it's all about understanding. If you have that understanding, even when you are pursuing things, you pursue things differently. You reorder your priorities. All these things that you're hustling for, by all means, you must get these ones. You begin to understand that these things take time, and you now give your effort or your energy, give it that time for it to blossom. So it's a very good place to it's a very good form of understanding to have, especially when we are dealing with money. You know how money can be. Everybody wants to get money.
And nobody's ever satisfied. My mom will always say that people chase this money before us. Sometimes when she's calling us and we're talking about, the fast pace here now, where in this part of the world where we are, and you went to this shift, you went to that work, and she said, look, people that came before us, they chase this money.
We are chasing it.
So we should take it easy. But let me go back to what we said about the fact that these days women now have to work, and sometimes they do it to the neglect of the family. Someone has dropped a question in the WhatsApp and saying, is it the responsibility, or why is it the responsibility of a woman? Let me read the words. Are we saying women should not go to school or be educated? What should they do with the education if not to get a proper job? And why is the responsibility for training the children laid on the woman?
Beautiful. I never said that women should not be educated. Otherwise, you that you have on my side here, I won't have sent you to school. I have three daughters. The three daughters are graduates, masters, and PhD. I never argue that. It is very it will be ignorant of any man to think that the daughter should not be educated, or a husband to say my wife should not be educated. Because even beside whether it's the responsibility of both of them to train, if your wife is not educated, there are so many things that he cannot transfer to the child. There are so many things that he would not know, she doesn't know. And how can a baby take care of a baby? It's not possible. So the actual thing there is that the woman should know what he's doing. That is one. Number two is that the taking care of children, we are not hanging it on the woman alone.
Okay.
I am your father. If I'm lying on the air here now, you can know. That my bringing up my 9 children was not absolutely my wife alone.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of it is this: woman is a weaker vessel. God says, even if they are not agree, even if they accept, they don't, especially with associations and all of this and that, forming here and there. No matter what you form, no matter what you say, a woman's place is not a man's place.
True. I agree with that.
And if you do not accept it, then you are going to have issues. Now, there are things that a man can do. There are things that a woman can do. If both are put together, by the grace of the living God, they are going to have a very, very good home. Amen. But if one side is lacking, now that is where, if you ask me, what if the woman is having the money or is working and earning higher and the man is not? Then I will tell you that, in fact, that is it's a greatest error. Greatest error. Because I have already quoted to you that a man that cannot provide for the wife, for the family, is worse than an infidel. What God says is, he is worse than an unbeliever. He should not be called a believer. You may not have it all. Yes, we understand. But there is a level that you should be able, that the man should be able to hustle. This hustling that is going on between man and woman, the same level, the same way, it's not supposed to be so. One should be higher, then the other one is lower. Then there are so many nonsense in a family and marriage. I used to tell them, many nonsense are there. No man, no woman can be able to bring all the nonsense out for people to see. And that's why you are not able to learn about marriage and be perfect on it before you go into marriage. It's not possible. Because nobody is going to teach you all the do's and don'ts and everything that is in marriage. Now, the same thing when you come into this training or home, the woman has a very great, in fact, I will say the woman owns the home. The man is the provider. The woman owns the home. The things, if you get to a house or you go to a home and you meet the house tattered, the home tattered and everything, your first reaction may not just be to say, what kind of a man is this? Question is, what type of a woman is this? It does not necessarily mean that it is only the woman that can do it, but it's the woman that will have the idea. It's the one that God gave that idea.
As a homemaker.
Idea of a homemaker. Idea of putting things right. Idea of keeping things well. And a child could be doing something and the father is clapping for him, but the mother is seeing a very different error or a very different mistake within that child that needed to be corrected. So there are two people, but with different capacities and different level of height. So one should not be absent, but the one of the woman is more dangerous, because once the child goes from certain age, you can no longer be able to correct the child. And at that age that we are seeing, the child is more cleave to the mother than the father. Always. And so at that point, you find out that the mother is in the best position to talk to this child and to help the child and let the child have so many of what she knows, which are very good. And the man will come around and then put his own as a man. And it's not going to be the same. And at the same time, by the time you put them together, I tell you that it's going to be of a very great help to the family.
Okay. Papa is saying that we should both do it together, not one side falling off or one side being absent and the other. I think it's both ways. If the woman is not there and it's the man alone, it's a problem. If the woman is there and the man too is not there, it's a problem. So it takes two, you say if both of them are there with the help of God, then they can have a very good and strong marriage. This is what Papa is saying. So he's not saying we should not educate girls, and he's not saying that in fact girls should not have a proper job. He's just saying don't do any work, don't chase money, to the detriment of your family. Because in the long run, like someone said, we were having this conversation, I think 2-3 days ago, and the person said to me that I was talking about my PhD. I can't remember how we talked about it, and said in the long run, no certificates will be there. It's your family that will be there for you. In the long run, when all the chips are down, it's your family, it's who you have in your corner that will be there for you. Someone said Bishop Obayojie is highly experienced in marriage counseling. I learned a lot from him growing up. His home is always open to all, so you get to see practically how to run a Christian home and enjoy marriage. God continue to bless you, Daddy. That's Alapa Hyacinth.
Oh, okay.
Alapa Hyacinth. Thank you, Hyacinth, for that comment. Thank you, Hyacinth. And viewers, anyone of you, if you have a question, it doesn't have to be about this topic. Like I've said, he's actually very experienced in marriage counseling. I told people before that this is where we are learning from. This is where, the root of all that we are doing. This is where I'm learning from. This is where we tap the root from. So if you have a question, just drop your question for Bishop and we'll get to answer it by the grace of God. He's here today. It's a rare privilege. You might not see him here for another 2, 3, 4 years. We don't know. We know God will continue to keep him for us, but we don't know when we'll get him to come to this stage again. So take advantage. If you have any questions, please drop them. If you don't want to drop them live, you can drop them on our WhatsApp group and I'll read the question anonymously out in the air. Okay, let's continue this conversation. There's something I really, really want you to talk about, Daddy. And this comes from a father that I know you and I grew up with you. You raised 9 children. There's no time that, someone will say, oh, maybe the economy was better then. There's no time that it was not tough. I was there. Our house was like a barrack, 6 boys, 3 girls. And we also had all that children, other relatives who were living with us. So it wasn't even just your 9 children alone. At no point in time did we not have people, one relation, one brother, one that is passing through, or, in our house, one cousin or the other. I never heard you owing somebody one day. Say, my father is owing someone, or you are in debt, or you are borrowing money. How were you able to do it? I want to know. Because, some people they are living life now, like you said earlier, maybe they are running too much. They are owing a lot of money. Somebody that has only one child, He's already crying, can't pay school fees. How did you do it, Daddy? Please tell people. I'm sure this question, so many people may have it in their mind, just like I do have it in my mind.
All right, thank you very much. It is uh, a way of life. It is not wrong for everybody to kind of aspire to have good things of life and aspire to get to the next level, or aspire to be like your neighbor or your friends.
Mm.
They are all there for you. But you are the one to choose what you want your tomorrow to be. My wife is not here, but it's your mother, and then you can equally get it from her that is very, very true. I got married, I was a poor boy. My wife also was a poor lady. I was working, but our work cannot do anything, most of what we do. But I told my wife, one of my principles is that in my house, number one is none of my child must sleep hungry. No matter what excuse. I will not give you excuse of that, or else I am heading to my death, to my grave. I can't do it. I can't accept it. One. Then I said, the second one, none of my child will be sent out of school for any reason. But that do not mean I am going to go to a school that is higher than me, which I know I may not be able to put 3 or 4 together so that they will go to the school. No. But none of them will be at home because I am not able to send them to school. I told my wife these two things. If you see me near to it, that is getting nearer to it, I give you 100% fight. Give me a fight. And make me to remember, this is my vow. Because whether you have, I see some people who have 2 children, and they are having very serious problems here and there, like some that have canceled recently. You are having just only 1 child. They want to live in a duplex. They want to, the wife said the car they have to change it, but they have got one at least. They have to change it, and they have to this and that. And a baby is coming, the second child is coming. And behold, when the second child came, it was 2 years. And the next thing, that young man who have not known me, he came to meet me. Say, Daddy, I'm in trouble. I say, what trouble? I say, you just give birth. Congratulations. Why are you talking of trouble? You have just got 2. Only 1 added to 1. It's 2. So what is that trouble? I say, I had 9. I never tell anybody I am in trouble. He said, because your wife did not give birth with CS. I say, even if he had, I wouldn't tell anybody that is trouble. Is it because of CS that you're in trouble now? He said, Daddy, I must tell you. I do not have even 1 kobo remaining. After I have paid for the CS, I cannot bring my family home and be happy. I said, what? I said, well, you live above your means, and you live above yourself. You live above who you are. He says, it's not my fault, it's my wife. I say, it's not your wife's fault. Neither any other. You are the head of the family. If it's something good, you will claim it. But because I'm not condemning it now, you are not saying it's your wife's fault. If your wife said, hey, we must be in a duplex, I said, no. I can tell you that I have never had a duplex in my life. And now they want to give me duplex, and I said, no. Why? I said, because I don't want to fall from the step. I am no longer a young boy, and I don't want to be climbing up. And besides, who is going to be maintaining the duplex with me and my wife alone in the house? I said, I don't want that again. The time I would have got duplex maybe I must have passed, but then I don't regret, because what I have used that time to do is known and seen by everybody today, and I'm a happy man. I says the best thing for you to have done or to do now is go and sell your car.
Mm.
If you can't sell the house where you live, because it's not even its own, it's a rented duplex.
Wow.
I say, if you can't live there immediately, go and sell your car and go and take care of your wife and your children, my friend. Never you come to me, even if I have the money, there's no way I will give it to you. You say, why? I know you are a very good man, generous man, this and that. I say, I'm very generous, but I'm not blind, I'm not deaf. I know what I am doing. I do things that are right. If I aid you on this one now, it's wrong. I will not do it. 9 months was given to you to prepare for a child coming. God gave you 9 months. 9 months you cannot be able to at least have, with the present days, you cannot have 200,000 naira, then you are coming to tell. And for what you earn, I know you can have more than that. But because you are living a usurious life, a loose life, so what did you expect? So what I'm having to say about this is that when you are growing up and you have come to be adult and you are now entering into family affair, better have to put the priority right. Put priority. The family priority right, so that you don't have to get to a point where you'll be stuck. If you put your priority right, I'm just coming from US now, and I adopted a son. I sat him down for 2 hours, and he told me, in fact, yesterday he sent me text. He told me, Daddy, I will never have a week that I did not discuss with you. He said, you are too much. I said, why? Because I was talking about this same life marriage with him. And I told him, everything in this world, if you take 2 steps at a time, by the time you do it 2 or 3 times, you will fall down. Take 1 step at a time. And that's how God created. And before you know it, you get to where you are. I am speaking from my daughter's house now. And I came also from my daughter's house somewhere, all abroad. I came out from my son's house abroad. And there are still more.
Amen.
If I had eaten all the money that time and used them to at that our time, suya was raining. Use it to eat suya and all of this and that. Now, what would have happened? So that is it.
Daddy said, don't use all your money to eat suya. Don't use all the money to eat shawarma. Don't use all the money to buy handbag. We're not even doing those ones now. That let me tell you what we are doing.
Okay.
We are buying designers. Designer cars, designer houses, designer bags.
All right.
He said, don't live those life. Invest them so that tomorrow something will come. I know Titi has a question for the bishop. We are going to go on break and then we'll come back. We'll give Bishop an opportunity to sip some water and we'll return. Get your questions ready. Like I said, this is your opportunity to ask questions. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat box or drop it in the WhatsApp comment section and we'll take your questions for the bishop. I'm sure wisdom is available here by the grace of God to respond to your question. When we come back, Titi will drop her own question. I know my spirit told me that Titi has a question. We'll come back shortly. All right, welcome back everyone. I hope you used the break to subscribe. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. You're helping us grow and you're helping us reach other people every time you do that. And also you can share this. If you're learning from this platform, please share, tell your friends about the platform so they too can share along with you. Before we went on break, Bishop was talking to us about priorities, setting your priorities right. and looking out for that thing that is most important and doing it at a particular time. We have in the studio Bishop Dr. Napoleon Obayojie, a very rare and special guest on Conversation with the Love Crusader. So, Titi, it's your turn to ask a question. Throw your question.
So my question would be along the lines of, because the message here today is about setting your priorities right, and yes, we know we live in a fast-paced world now, but everything has its process, and take one step at a time. So in a situation where we have a man that has decided, okay, let me take one step at a time, you know, and I decided to kind of relax in quotes. It's not like he's not making money, he's making money, but he has just decided to be complacent. And here you have a wife that is kind of like the opposite, very driven. Let me put it that way. How do we now balance it?
Matching.
Because left to the wife, wife, if not because of family, maybe kids and everything, she might want to go out, do more, but for some reason or the other, she's not able to, So how do you now balance that? Um, how do you balance
Different
that?
traits.
Yes, in
Different
between, yeah.
traits. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And it's affecting money coming into the home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, the truth of it is that your platform is not big enough for me. Why? I'm sorry, I'm not condemning what you are doing. I have been encouraging my daughter. Go ahead. I taught on life balancing for more than 6 months. I was on that subject. Life balancing. If you sleep too much, you are already out of the way. And if you don't sleep, you are in trouble because it's going to affect your head. So you find out for everything in life that is balanced. You must balance it. Now, for a husband and wife to live together, they have to balance themselves. I'm not yet answering your money or how money and all this and that coming. You have to balance yourself. Now, how do you balance yourself? Like I was saying at the beginning, that I do not say a woman should not be educated. My wife was not very educated. I myself, I was not very, but just a little, maybe a little higher than my wife. When we come together, I told her, I said, look, I am going to go to school. He said, what about herself? I said, the same thing, you will go to school. But you cannot go at the same time. Because if you go at the same time, this home will be gone. She agreed with me. And I went to school. I went to school to the extent I went abroad. And I came back. And I came back to her. I promised her. And I came back to her. And she knows that my word is is reliable and dependable. Not the one that you will say A and you go and do B. So I came. When I came back, I said, all right, it's your turn. School. And my wife went to school to the extent she became a lecturer in my Bible school. She taught this lady, the mother taught her, not about per mother, but as a lecturer in the school. So what I'm trying to say to you is this. It's balancing. If you refuse to balance life, then everything that you do will always have issues. We balance it. What time are we to spend this money? Right now, I told my wife, to tell you the stage I am now, I told my wife and I told myself, if I'm in Abuja which is my base. But I'm in my children's house and all of them now, and some pastors that I have met, they're not my children. Once I tell you this is what I want to eat, just give it to me. You have no right to change it. Where the stage I've gotten to now, if I whatsoever I want to eat, that's what I will eat. You don't tell me, you don't have to preach to tell me that unless it's against health. But if it's not against health, that's what I want. Don't tell me it's too expensive. You understand what I'm saying? I told my wife, I said, whatsoever that you feel that this is best for you to eat now, go ahead and eat it. If your money in your hand do not get it, you let me know. That's why I'm here on ground. You will surely eat that thing. It is my time. When my child, any of my children come around and you want to share from that thing, I may give. I may tell the person, well, it's not your time to be eating this one. Go and get something else. It's not yet your time. Balance life living. God has given us the way and manner to go so that we will not dash our foot against the stone and fall down. If we balance ourselves, balance the way you spend money and balance the way we work for the money. Balance it. If the man is working and now maybe he doesn't want to spend the money, or he's working, he's not earning very much and he's not trying to add more, but the woman is trying to, what I will say in this manner that we call balancing, is either the woman step down to the same level of the man. Because that's the only way you can talk to the man and he will enter his head. When you are up, kind of, and you are talking to him, you say, I don't blame you. Is it because you are doing this, you are doing that, or you have this, you have that, or you have this salary, or you have this? That's why you are talking to me like that? No. The best thing if the woman wants to, one, you can come down deliberately, and it may be for a short time, and you'll be very surprised. You'll be very surprised the miracle that will come out of it. And by the time, well, where are you? Me and you, we are the same. Are we not the same? All right. That is one way of correcting it. Second, other way is to help the other spouse or your partner or your partner to rise up. On the other hand, that one is always more difficult. Because if I say step down just now, you will say, it's very difficult to step down. No, to step down is more easier. If you are climbing a step, taking a step up and taking a step down, which one is more easy? It's taking the step down. So that the same thing it is. Because if you are telling the man now, it's all right, you need to rise, it will still go to the same thing. He will be looking for a way, instead of taking it that you want betterment for the family. That is why you are trying to say this, not to go and sleep just because you have got maybe some little money, that is not good enough. Instead of taking to that way, you say, this is not how you used to do, or this is not how you used to. You say, well, I just want to be like you, so that we will be parley. I don't want things that will be causing conflict. You say, so am I doing something that will cause conflict? No, you are not. But I don't want to be rising higher or going faster, and while you are, no. We must go together. So we must be side by side. So at the end of the day, that is my own recommendation, that is much cheaper and easier than for you to preach and teach and tell the person, rise up from where you are now, is not making it, and we may not make it, to the right destination. So this is my little advice about that. But the most language for it is balance. Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. That's a very, very, very great one. And that balance is a very, very key word, on both ends, whether from the man or from the woman. I was listening to a preacher and he says, you should grow together as a couple. If not, you will grow apart. Grow together. If not, you will grow apart.
Correct.
And we know we have differences in traits. If as a man, you see that you're being laid back, it's affecting your family, try to improve. try to get, some ginger into your hustle. If as a woman also you see that you're being driven, it's also affecting the man's ego, because some men, their ego, their pride is bruised. They really can't take it. They can't handle strong women. Not all men can do so. Then maybe also sometimes to slow down. Like I gave the example here of having to take on a teaching job, which was, of course, paying less. The bank was going to pay me more, but I had to take a teaching job because at that point in time, it was necessary to make that sacrifice for my children. And I don't regret it. I'm grateful to God I did. What I said to God was I was going to do it for 10 years, have all the children I needed to have, give them that foundation, and then go chase my career. And God did it that exactly 10 years later, I was able to move, into the career that I'm doing today, become a chartered manager and all of that. So, like Daddy said, for a time, one person might need to slow down so the other catches up. And the other person too might need to step up and then meet up with the best partner so that there is that balance in the family. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Our time is running, but there's something Papa taught us which I want him to come to, because it's something that has stuck with me right from my childhood. He called it the 7 P's of life.
Uh-oh.
And I think it's part of this balance. So I just want him to touch on it very, very quickly. Like he said, this platform is too big. Of course, the next 2 hours we can be here and Papa will have things to say to us. So this our 1 hour is not going to be enough. But he told us then, he said, proper prayer, planning, preparation prevents poor performance.
Yes.
So I just wanted to highlight that as to family
it's
and
not,
all.
it's not going to be, your time will not be enough to highlight each of them. Because when I taught on the 7 P's, God gave them to me as a matter of studies and all the rest. And each one, we studied it for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was a long series.
So it was a long series, and people that I never knew our church or never knew us, they were coming when they heard what was going on. What it really means is exactly what we are talking now. We have, for instance, talked about life value. We have talked about this balancing. We have talked about proper planning and so many. So it's all going into the same thing. For you to decide as a Christian, making a decision. Many have come to me, I bounce them back. Sorry, it seems as if, but there are so many good ones that I do. don't think that I always bounce people back. But some come to me, why do I bounce you back? If a Christian come to me, spirit-filled, very good Christian, and you brought a problem and you said, this is what I want to do, and I want this, I want that, and this and that, and somehow this one is bouncing back or it's not going smoothly the way, then I ask you, I say, okay, my brother or my sister, did you pray about these things that you are saying? Say, well, God wants, the Bible said in the book of Jeremiah that in all in my heart I think good of you and all this and that. You could begin to quote the Bible to me back again. I said, well, thank you for quoting your Bible, but remember that God Almighty gave you power to choose, and also gave you power to pray, and gave you power to change things. You cannot say because God said He's going to. That word that you heard there is generally for all Christians. But that doesn't mean that everybody is going to be living in that manner. You are born from a different home, a different parents, very, very many things that are different. Now, you have to pray. And then, after prayer, you are satisfied that you needed that car. It's good. My friend, it moves you here and there and you're able to do something faster, even if you're not buying it for pleasure. Good. Now, how are you going to buy the car? Say, well, even if I don't pay my children's school fees, even if I not give money to my wife for the next 3 months for food,
Mm.
and you are expecting peace in the house. Let me buy the car. And you alone decide it, and of course, you go straight and go to where the car, and you buy it and bring it home, and your wife look you and look at the car, you see the eyes, you see, it's a bad woman.
Mm.
The woman is thinking, where did you get money to buy this car? And if you have got the money to buy this car, are we going to do another thing again in our lives? I told my children, if your father goes out and I buy something of 10,000 and bring to the home, just believe that your father still have another 10,000. If not, I can't do it. I will never do it. No matter how you tell me it's important. The one that is important, I have already told you, there are only two. Feed my family and I train my children.
Children.
That is my priority. Another person's own may be different. But this is my two priority. I cannot say one is about to, or I have half part of, for instance, for the education. Then I will now go and buy a car. She knows when I start to have cars. Today I'm having 4 cars. I have the big ones, I have small ones. Sometime I drove the most smallest car by myself than the other ones, because I don't really think all those things matters too much. What is life? Moving from one place to the other, I'm okay. But there are some area, like in Africa and especially Nigeria, where I come from, where if you don't go there with a good car, then you are the least. You are the least of all people. So in order to avoid that, I have people, I have churches, and I have children, I have those that have raised me. Why should I be the least? I will not be the least. So I will go with that type of car to such occasion. If not, I will leave the car. It doesn't make anything different to me. You see, when we are trying to make money, let me use, because the 7 P's is not going to be possible for me to take all
you can't do all.
But when you are trying, I have seen families as well, as I do counseling. There are some families that take money as their master. What do I mean that money is their master? Money controls them. What money say is only what they hear. And what money says is only what they do. Ma answers, I tell you honestly, I never lived, even when I was very, very low, the lowest class of life. I have never allowed money to control my life. I teach recently, and I told them, when I had all these children, until about 4 of them graduated from university, I never had a new trouser or a new shirt. It's not that what I earned couldn't have buy them. It's not my priority. I go to bend down select, what they call okrika in
used clothing, second-hand clothing.
Used clothes.
Yeah.
That's where I buy my clothes. And if I buy from there, well, my wife will not say I must go to what they call this boutique to go and buy her own. She won't say so. I will say, well, but see, you see what I have. I think me and her, sometimes we go there together. See, we get the best of it, and I get the one that I can get, and then we come home. And as we buy it, I am still having the money. We are still having the money that is far above what we have just bought. People that money controls, they are the one that once money enter their hand, the money will be pushing them to go and look for what is not necessary. Even the worst, some men and ladies, they will go to shop to go and buy things, and they will buy and buy and buy and buy what they never needed for the next 1 year of their life or 2. Why? Because the money is in the pocket. They are forgotten that money is like a river that is flowing. It
Flows
flows
away.
it flow away, and it blow like a wind and it fly away. That is money. So if you allow money to control, and because money, you allow money to control, I want to tell you that it takes you to many steps. It makes you to look for money at all cost. By all means, you want to get the money. Then the other one is that it will, if money is in control, it will put you into competition with people. You will be on competition. Rivalry. This one have this. Why can't we have it? This one. I remembered when I went to US the first time for school, and I came back, and I told you that I returned home. I bought things for home. I bought a television. And that's my first television. I have not bought before. I set it up. My neighbor left the home, his own home, for good 3 days. He never come home until he carried television on his head to the house.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding.
Oh my
3
God.
days. The man was absent. I asked the wife, it's my language man. It's my friend. I'm the one that brought them into that compound. I said, where is my brother? Where? He said, he traveled. I said, travel to where? He doesn't tell me. By the time he carried the television on his head, because he didn't have the taxi money to take him down to the house again. And then he fixed the television. And then they started to borrow money to eat.
Aye.
What life? What are you doing? So I am saying this: don't allow money to push you. And if you are yourself, you want to pursue money, be very careful. Otherwise, money will fall you down. They say money is the root of all evil. It's very dangerous if you don't know money. I pursue money with care. When I see that I am trying to pursue it and it's becoming bigger, I slow down. I say, okay, if I don't have you, I don't mind my life. By the time you tell money like that, money will come back to you. God bless you.
Okay, we are past our time now. I do want to interrupt Bishop. We are past our time now, and I want to believe that you've learned a lot from the wisdom of our Papa here this evening. Some people might be listening to this and thinking, oh, maybe it's old school lessons, but it has worked. They are proving technologies that have worked. The fact that we need to esteem values of life much more than money. The fact that we need to set our priorities right in this generation. The fact that we should not allow money control us. Money should not control your marriage. Money should not control your love life. There are people who they only want to marry for money. They only want to marry because of money. They want to stay in the marriage because of money. Okay, what if the marriage money is not there tomorrow? That's even the beginning of it. And then when you are in the marriage, to avoid competition, to avoid a lack of contentment, don't allow money be the controller. Money is meant to be controlled by humans, not humans being controlled by money. I'll give Titi 2 minutes to give me her last comments before we close tonight, because our time is already fast spent and we're trying to stay within time.
I don't think there's anything else to say. I mean, stay ahead of money.
Stay ahead of money. That's a good way to put it. Good, good.
mean,
Stay ahead of money. Good, good. Make money. Papa is not saying that money is bad or making money is bad. Make money, work for money. Don't be lazy. This man taught us hard work. So much so that you don't have siesta in his house. As a young person, you cannot be sleeping. My father catch you sleeping in the afternoon unless you are sick.
I don't sleep.
So he's not here preaching laziness. He's not here saying, oh, be lazy, fold your hand, don't go make money. No, he's saying make the money and still keep your sense of value. Make the money and still keep your marriage and your home. Make the money and get your priorities right. And don't make money at all costs. Don't be in competition with anyone. I always tell my husband, I don't have a mate. I did not come to the world with anybody. I came alone. So I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm not doing something because somebody did it. I'm doing it because by the grace of God, that is my time to do it. So let that be our goal. Let that be our motto in life. And life will be easier. High blood pressure will reduce. Quarrel between husband and wife will reduce. If it's, small food we can eat that we can afford, let's eat it with joy and with peace. And I like the way he's always telling you, I tell my wife, we'll do this. I tell my wife, we'll do this. My dad is a leader, even at home. And his wife supported, she followed his leadership. She was not saying, you can't buy okrika, that one is for you. If you want to live life of buying second-hand clothes, me, I must buy designers. And that is why, by the grace of God, they've been able to pilot themselves all this year up until now. 9 children, 26 grandchildren, and still counting. Maybe they'll get to 30 soon. All right, everyone, that's our evening today. Thank you so much. Those of you who've come online, those of you who've commented, we hope that you've learned one thing or the other. Like we always say, please share, subscribe, tell people about this platform. Bishop wants to pray for you people. Okay, we're going to give a minute for Bishop to pray. He's a man of God, that I cannot do without prayer. So he's going to say a word of prayer before we go.
All right, I just want to say, because nothing works without prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus,
Amen.
every word that we have spoken here tonight, Heavenly Father, the whole people that hear it and they that will hear it later, oh God, I pray that they will pick that which will make them a better people on earth, a better home, a better family. My God, my Father, that they will remember that there was a day like this, Father, that things happen and change in their life and make them great. To the glory of God, bless this program and let it continue to grow and grow even to become television. In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Daddy. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I know that you are busy and we are taking advantage of this time that you're spending with us in the United Kingdom. Daddy is visiting us in the United Kingdom. If you want to connect with him, he's here with us in Lewis and he'll be here till next Sunday. You can get his contact. He's not one of those that you need to go through protocols to be able to reach him. You can get his contact. You have a question, you want him to talk to your family, you have questions about life, about God, Papa is here, until the 29th. Thank you again for coming. Titi, thank you as always for your time. That's our show, people. We'll see you next week for our Q&A sessions. If you still have other questions we've not dealt with yet, please send them in. And by the grace of God, next week, we will be back to talk about them. Have a love-filled week, everyone.